Greetings. Happy Christmas, everybody. Just a quick live today. Hope my mic is going. The little mic dibber is going left and right, so that looks like it's on. I hope the vision is not choppy or anything like that, but we'll see who is out there. Archie J Trains, hello. That's got to be Grace, right? And Christopher's Hobby Blog. Hello, Christopher. Happy Christmas to you both. It's Rob. Hello, Rob. And Connie. Hello, Connie. Happy Christmas. Yes, pulled out the old hat. Hi, Andy. Happy Christmas to you, buddy. And Jake. Hello there. Now, I wonder if Sodor Dan Demand is going to make it in because got a bit of a Thomas special today. We'll see if he materializes. And there's Dwight Curley. Happy Christmas, old fruit. Lovely to see you. So I'm running a little Thomas themed Christmas special today. Let's call it that. Got the old hat out. I don't know where this had been hiding for God knows how long, but I managed to find it. Thought I'd thrown it away, but he's around. Just spoke to Dan on Messenger. Okay, so it should be out there, and he should be in. I thought he'd be thrilled by this kind of thing, and would you know it, Percy's just stopped. Can't trust anybody, can you? Forgive me a second while I give him a little jolt. Go, Percy. Percy's on the move. Aha. Particle Station. Hello, Charlie. Lovely to see you. Good afternoon. Just leaving a hotel in Tampa. Have a great... Let's give Percy a little more. They haven't been out of their boxes for probably about 18 years, something like that. So they're doing pretty well. You know, you have to hand it to Hornby when they do put something together well. They do it well. Sodor Dan the Man, there he is. A Thomas special today. I just thought we'd have a little bit of fun. Got me a Christmas jumper. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Yeah, I thought that would appeal. It's sort of seasonal with the films and things like that. That's where you left your elf hat. Yeah, look at those. Yeah, a real pair of Spocks. How about that? Yeah, I got a feeling one of the cleaners bought me this. I think it was Pauline, because if you look at the label inside, it said George on it. Now, George is a trade name of Asda. Yeah, Thomas is still working. There's Percy playing his trade. And Thomas is in the background. He'll be along in a second. And of course, every Christmas, when you work in a school, you do a bit of dressing up and, you know, funny jumpers and things like that. So I remember when I was clearing out all my effects, this happened to be there. And I thought, well, it's in pretty good nick, actually. And I must have thrown it in a bag and didn't think any more of it. But where are the brake vans? Reverend Audrey wouldn't approve. Well, you can't have everything. You know, Richard didn't seem to be too concerned with brake vans in the old days. You know, he'd take a little bit. So the hat survived. So it survived, I don't know, several years in a school, and that's no mean feat. I love a Curacao. Yes, don't we all? But they are quite pricey, and they're very good, but they're still expensive. David Hall, hello. Nice to see you. A little Thomas special today. There he is. Bless him. Annie and Clarabelle. What day is it today? Let's have a look. It says, Saturday. Yeah. I'm losing all track of time. Haven't even had breakfast yet. Oh dear. Dwight, what's up, man? Got up late, ran to the post office to ship my loco off to get it fixed. Ah, well, that's a worthy reason to get up early. So, okay. If you want to fix your breakfast, I'll be on for about another half an hour or so. Um, just found a found a speaker in it. Yes, they do that. Accurascale put speakers in all of their locomotives, whether they are set up for DC or DCC. They put the speaker in it from the factory, so that's one little less thing you have to do. Of course, it bumps them. There's Train Man 1. Hello, Train Man 1. Nice to see you. Merry Christmas. And the same to you, buddy. I'm drinking coffee now. I'm with you there, brother. Christmas coffee. Now, that's eat, sleep, and trains. Repeat. All the years I had this mug and I didn't realise, I thought, oh, well, that's like a British Rail eatery sign. And that's a sort of sleeper sign. And the obvious train. And it never occurred to me, eat, sleep, trains, repeat. It just never occurred to me. Yeah. How dopey. But there you go. And there's Lee. Hello, Lee. Nice to see you. Math. Have I offended you in any way, Math? No, I don't think so. No, but it's never too late to start, mate. So, you can diss me if you like. It's water off a duck's back. You've got to have very thick skin. If you put yourself out there, you've got to have some thick skin. Looks like the locos are working hard for the Christmas party. Yes, well, I thought I'd give them a bit of juice, as they haven't done anything for about 18, 20 years. I thought, well, I'd better have them going pretty whizzy. I did add a little lubrication, as you do. You can't pull something out of a box and expect it to work just like that. So, yes, I water off a duck's back. Where is duck? I do actually have a duck, but it's actually an old Triang one, but it's in this quite bright green colour. I'm not sure that Triang Hornby got the colour of the plastic right, and it does actually look like duck. No face, of course. Ohio Steam and Steel. Hello, Dirk. How lovely to see you. Happy Christmas, matey. Yes, I thought I'd give Toby a rest today, and I thought I'd seek out the rest of the Thomas gang. There's Dundas Junction Model Railroad. That's James. Hello, James. Yeah, Merry Christmas. So, yeah, I thought I'd take them out, give them a bit of an airing, give them a bit of a whiz, get rid of all the cobwebs, and have a bit of fun. Where are we without fun? You're heading out soon? Okay. That's okay. You can come and go as you please. We're easy. Yes, Percy has got a bit of a whiz on, but it was one of the fairly early 040s that Hornby produced in their modern incarnation, and it's a bit of a pocket rocket. Let's put it that way. So, let's just pull it up a bit. It's a little bit tight, actually. It'll start to squeeze my brain out of my ears, but there you go. Yeah, look at those for ears. Hey, Mr. Spock would be proud of me. Oh. Just shipped your pumpkin off to get fixed. Pumpkin. Yeah, that's got to be a locomotive which has got colouring of a pumpkin. What does a pumpkin look like? Sort of a yellowy orange colour. So which yellowy orange colour has a livery like that on the American side of things? Stephanie? Stephanie. Where do I know Stephanie from, Mav? That's got to be a Thomas. That's got to be a Thomas thing, Stephanie, right? Put me right in the chat. Yeah. So, yeah, Percy's looking very happy for himself. He's got his happy face on. Stephanie was a drunken night out. I see. Yes. Okay. So, the more you drank, the more alluring she became. Isn't that the way of things? Stepney was a Thomas character. Absolutely true. That was very late on in the books, from what I can remember. And Stepney was going past a cricket game, and somebody whacked the ball really hard, got a 6 over the boundary into one of Stepney's trucks. Correct? I think. Now, we're going back 40, 50, 54 years, something like that. That's not a bad memory. So does this mean we're not doing the live in the morning? Yeah, that's correct, Dwight, because I've got family duty tomorrow. There's going to be a bit of a shindig over at my father-in-law's place, which is on the other side of Hertfordshire. So that's a family event. So I've got to attend that, and somebody's got to give, as they say. There's Roger. Hello, Roger. Nice to see you, man. Happy Christmas to you. So, yeah, for obvious reasons, I couldn't do the Sunday. As much as I want to do it, something had to give, and that had to give. So, yes, season's greeting. SJ Trains is live tomorrow, 9 a.m., I believe. Well, I should be able to watch that okay, because I don't think we're leaving until, I don't know, 10:30, 11:30 in the morning. So, and that's why I couldn't do my usual live stream, because I simply won't be here to do it. So, there's only so much time and space in relative dimension that we've got. So, something has to give. Right, now, Percy's really got a stamp on now, so I'll just adjust him very slightly. If I go too mad, though, he'll get the jitters. But Thomas, as you can see, is just chucking around nicely, as Thomas should. You won't have to get up early to catch me in the morning. Oh, well, yeah. Well, I thought I'd do it a little later today, so we didn't have this problem, and it wouldn't be sort of 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or something like that. Yes, hugs and happy holiday wishes, Connie. Good Christmas. See you all in the streams. Yeah, cheers, Lee. Right. Dwight, Curly Express. Woohoo. Yeah, I like what you've done, Dwight, with your Christmas panorama. That's really good. It was nice to actually see you making it and running a few trains as well. And I think you obviously had a shorting issue, which done in your pumpkin. Yeah. So just explain what the pumpkin livery is to us, would you, Dwight? It's obviously got a road name, so it's bound to be something like Indian River and Old Rattler Railroad or something like that, or it might just be Pennsylvania. But Pennsylvania was different colouring. That was a sort of oh, Ivo's at Van's on. Hello, Ivo. Happy Christmas to you, man. So yeah, if you want to put us right, Dwight, about what kind of road name your pumpkin is, then having said that, you've probably sent the box off now. And if you're anything like me, you're going to sit there scratching your chin and saying, now, what was the name of the road again? Yeah. But we'll see. If you want to square us up with that one, oh, BNSF. Oh, okay. So that's a sort of orangey red. Am I right? BNSF? Mind you, that's worn many garbs as well. And there's Wesley. Hello, Wesley. Nice to see you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Yes. RGJ airbrush, the 3D printer loco body I left on my visit to you. It's something different and will teach you painting 3D prints from FDM. Okay, that sounds all right. BNSF, Big Orange. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Although, if you look back on particularly Santa Fe, you had things like the war bonnet livery, which, I mean, I love. There's very few people who are not attracted to that kind of wraparound style. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I've got no BNSF running today, which is a shame because it's always nice to have something like that. Perhaps something Americana. I've got a feeling I did have. What's this one down here? Ah, I do have this. Forgive me a second. I do have this, the Bud RDC locomotive. So if anybody would like to see that run, I can always pop that on the rails. I know this is a runner because I did run it a couple of weeks ago. It's slow and sweet, and it's quite heavy. This was obviously a Proto 1000 before Walthers got their talons into it and everything became Walthers, but it's still the same model. So I'll pop that over there. Can always do a tip of the hat to our American cousins. And Gothland Station, hello there. Supercell Rail fan, Sladen there. Hello, Sladen. Happy Christmas to you, and I hope you have a really, really good New Year. Yeah, the jumper, I have to stand up for that one. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. That obviously comes from the what was it? Macaulay Culkin film. Come on, remind me. Home Alone. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Home Alone. Yeah. So I actually got the idea from a very well-known YouTuber called John JMC. See, I had to think there. Did you see the wheels start to turn? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jean Ricard. Hello. Happy days, Jean Ricard. I really hope you have a wonderful Christmas and productive New Year. Yeah, Home Alone's is a great film, particularly with who's the guy with a gold tooth? Joe Pesci. Brilliant actor. Makes you hate him in a nice kind of way. Yeah, you hate him because he's obviously a baddie, but you can't help but love him because he's an endearing character. So, yeah, which makes the film great. Particularly when he's messing around with the video, and the guy's listening there at the door. Snakes? I don't know any snakes. I don't like the sound of this. Let's get out of here. And then, of course, they found out that they've been turned over by a kindergarten. Oh, yeah. And then the fun starts. Uh, Dave's channel, yeah. There's quite a few channels. If you don't know, Sparky will be going live on Christmas Day. Actually, he's on a. He said 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which relates to 6 o'clock in the evening in the UK and 7 o'clock where you are, Ivo, and Hi is in the Netherlands. So yeah, Marv, funny as hell. Yeah, like every great comedy double act, you've it's lost without the gangly, um, not quite so savvy Marv. Yeah, funny as hell. You're absolutely right. Uh, very influential in the forming of Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons. I've obviously missed something in the comments there, so if you want to put me right there, Roger. But oh, Percy's having a bit of a slowdown again. You could do with a DCC chip in him, so you could regulate the speed a bit. But I think he sort of warms up and cools down, very much like his petulant character that he plays in the Thomas videos. Build model kits and cars. Hello there. You've got to get back to work. Oh, dash it. There's that word. There's that word again. Work. Isn't Christmas and weekends supposed to put pay to work a bit? Managed to upload a non-train related video with some large steam engines. So that's what you call non-train related with large steam engines. I'll have to watch that. And yeah, Joe Pesci, a an acting genius. I know he's only a small guy like me, but oh, what a talent. um, Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons. Yeah, I'm afraid you got me there, Roger. Oh, Joe Pesci was. Oh, really? Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons. Well, I'm putting two and two together there. I hope I'm right, but it sounds like a happy holiday. Um, I'm I'm not sure if I want to really try and pronounce that. Vudag, Vudagamal in Lima, UNESCO listed pumping station. Gotcha. Okay, pumping station. That is still in occasional use. Oh, I see. Now, we do have a pumping station over here, which is very ornate, Victorian ironwork and things of that nature. It was taken off of line, but luckily it wasn't destroyed, and you can they still run the steam engines, although they're not under strain. They can just work. And it's a masterpiece of who is it? Basil Inkjet. Or what was his name? He was the genius behind the sewerage system. Basil Jet. Oh, somebody must know. Dan will probably know. Basil Fourth Jet. I could go through the alphabet, but I don't think that's going to do me any favours. But yes, it was a real old Victorian name, and he literally put all of the machinery in place to give us a decent sewage system. That one has 4 steam engines driving 8 turbine pumps and was running on full power today. Crumbs. Basil Chamber Pot. Bit of game pie up there. No. Right, the game's up. Bit of game pie up there. Yeah, for those of you that know John Cleese, I think Fawlty Towers was probably his finest hour, where he plays truculent, hotel owner Basil Fawlty, and some of the carnage that goes along with it. It was very un-PC. Not sure you could do the same thing these days without offending somebody, whether they be offending the Germans or offending hippies that wear, a hairy chest and stuff like that. Somebody would get offended. So it's probably better not to try. It's just take it as it is. It's a classic. Watch it. Yes, we all love watery fowls. Cousins to Armitage Shanks. Yeah, and what was the other one? Thomas Crapper. What a brilliant name for sewage and that. Yeah. Manuel was the best. Care. But he never says no hablo inglés. No English. I thought for a Spanish learning English, he did very well, actually. A Xmas sandwich. I took offence the other day. Scrapman suspicious when he saw Network Rail warning notices on it. Yeah, I think it might have been. Yeah, particularly the Scrapman was probably eyeing that for himself. I know nothing. Yes, I'm from Barcelona. Again, brilliant. Andrew Sachs, a classically trained actor, dumbing down to a point where he just showed another facet of his acting brilliance. You could say the same for Tony Robinson, when he does Baldrick, he plays it dumb. The same you could say of Trigger in Only Fools and Horses. Roger Lloyd Pack, again, a very accomplished actor, dumbing his part down to the point where he looks utterly bewildered. Brilliant piece of acting, and unfortunately, he was probably one of the first to die. We've got Heath. Hello, Heath. How lovely to see you. I just run in a few Thomas artifacts today. For Sodor Danderman, I did have him in mind when I extracted this very ancient Thomas and Percy set from storage after some 18, 20 years, something like that. Little lubrication. And considering, I'm just glad I cleaned the wheels before I put them back in their boxes. Even with play trains like Thomas the Tank Engine, I was always careful to clean the wheels, put it back in the boxes, so when it came out again, you could use it straight away. Good comparison. Piddle in the Marsh has put out a video. So for those of you that don't know Mark Ireland, he does a fictitious railway in the county of Somerset, and all of it is pure innuendo. So it's worth a look just for a little chuckle. And we have the plumber. Hello, Stephen. Happy Christmas to you and Heath on the other side of the pond. I did catch your struggles that you were having, Heath, with the vaccine. This type of vaccine made by a company called ID Vaccines. This is just the paper version. Because I would have to do it in situ, the sticky backed version was, I figured, just too much of a struggle, considering that they are a length of, I'd say they were about 6 feet long, each part. They did it in 6 foot rolls, which you'd have to. So I cheaped out. I went for the paper option and just tacked it here and there. It still wrinkles because this is a shed and it's open to the elements. In the winter, it really does wrinkle. I mean, I can give you an example of that. Let me just turn you around a little bit. On the far side, you can clearly see those wrinkles in the in the back scene there, because yes, they are paper. The old China clay dries in the background. That's a little tip of the hat to Roger, who lives in China country. And the usual paraphernalia around the walls, little bits and pieces. And Tim Maslin, hello there, nice to see you. Let me just fix my camera. There we go. Yes, this is a one camera operation. This is what you can do with the absolute bare bones. Andy, the system I'm using can be applied and removed even with the sticky back. Now that's a good idea. Is that an international type of vaccine, Heath? Or is it peculiar to the United States or Canada? Because as you well know, the postage of such things, particularly heavy things, is quite expensive. In fact, it's very, very expensive. So that was why I went for the local ID vaccines, which are produced in the UK. Whether they could do something similar to that, when I originally got this, there were two available. That was the cheapo version, which I've got, and the sticky backs. And from what I know of it, the sticky back one, once it grabs, that's the end of it. You don't have a second chance. You are limited to pricking it with a pin and trying to get the air holes out, type of thing. H&H Express, hello, hi. Lovely to see you. Happy Christmas. Let me just catch up. Got it from Bill at Lark Products. I believe he will ship internationally. That's good. That's good. Now, the reason I went for this type of vaccine is because I run quite a few locomotives with smoke, MTH, BLI, and there's various others. Some I built myself and put my own smoke machines in, but you need a fairly dark background, and that's quite important. So when I looked at the backgrounds, I looked at them not only because they were like countryside, which I've got over there, and I think these are O gauge or O scale trees for an O gauge layout, but it gave a greater expanse of dark, and that's why I want it. Because when I do run smoke, you can have real difficulty seeing it. So that was my reasoning behind that. I know it's a shallow reason, but I had to do something. The background I have is 4 different images photoshopped together. Yes, same here, Heath. You can actually see the brakes. One is right there. It's pretty obvious because I made and that's just a 4-foot section. The next one is way down, just beyond where you see this New York Central system. So I'd say that was about 5 foot actually. It's about an arm span, and I'm sort of 5'4". So yeah, so they came on in 5'4" on a roll, and you just unrolled it. I could have used a heavy duty wallpaper paste to put it on, but I didn't know what to do for the best actually. You glued yours to masonite, which can be removed. Yes, this is what you would call white-faced masonite. We call it white-faced hardboard, and it's got like a very thin white mica sheen on it on one side. The other side, of course, is just your crisscross type masonite structure, that however they make it. When you say Photoshop, they're on top of each other. I took an autumn scene of trees, put the factory. Oh, so you actually sent it in and they did it for you. Okay. I know that can be done. This was an off the shelf. So you get, I suppose, 1, 2, you get 3 in a row. So you get 3 sheets, and they literally obviously make it in one and then cut it into 3, so it's easier to manipulate. But yeah, that's the way ID vaccines do it, and that gives you roughly around 15 feet, and which is enough to go from end to end, which is 12 foot plus a little bit extra around the corner, and where it meets the other vaccine, which I also got because it was darkish. Let me just turn you around. There's the it's sort of a Yorkshire Dales type scene, and where it actually joins, that was where I put the not coal stays, China clay dries, with a chimney and some faux smoke going out of it, and that was how I managed to get around that little problem, because there's always seems to be a break between the two. Oh, Roger's got to go. A lot to do. Okay, Roger, thanks for coming in. Happy Christmas, man, and have a great New Year. Yes, there is always compromises in model railways, model railroading. It's just, it's one of those things. You have to, particularly as I've never touched a vaccine before, I didn't really know what I was doing. You can read all the tutorials in the world until you actually go to do it. It's only then you really appreciate the pitfalls that can fall on you if you take this rather stony path. So, yeah, I gave it a try. It was fairly successful. It's still up there. It hasn't fallen off. But as I say, it's winter in this country gets down to -5, -10 sometimes, and it's always hovering around the 0 degrees and quite damp. So humidity in here at the moment with the heater on is 75%, and I've seen it go up to into the 90s. So it does get quite damp. That's most of the reason you see there. I'll either use plastic buildings or resin buildings because they don't warp. I've tried some card buildings in here, and after a season, that's when the cracks start to show. Not cracks really, but things start to warp and misalign. So I tend to, yeah, adios, Roger. I tend to go with resin and plastic as a rule. So I try and stay away from the card kits and anything with balsa wood, basswood, those kind of woods. Basswood isn't so bad because it's quite a dense-ish wood, a lot denser than balsa, for example. 43% is the normal humidity here. Yeah, it's rather high in the shed. If I left the heater on overnight, which I wouldn't do, I could probably get the humidity down, but it is what it is. That's shed life for you, I'm afraid. Let me just adjust my camera. Camera is brought to you today by Hewlett Packard. It was a present from my son. You could see I was struggling with the camera I had on the laptop, and this one is a bit more HD. So he bought it for me as a present. I'm very grateful. I do have a few ideas for video and things, but I'll keep that under my elf type hat until money and time is available to do that. But I do have a few ideas. I could say stolen from other people, because I've seen one other YouTuber use this type of device, which is I think actually Heath uses something of what I've got in mind, which is a box with lots of push buttons on it, which gives you various sequences. You can program the buttons to do different things, and you can fade in cameras, fade out cameras. And I think the cameras that connect to this particular device are HDMI cameras. So that will give you, again, sound and vision all in one, and also give you the definition probably superior to USB. So that's the idea behind it, but that's for the future. That's for the future. There's locomotives to buy. I've got some signals that I've got to put together. These are made by Train Tech, and that's what they actually look like. These are ground shunting signals, so you'd have them before a switch or a turnout or whatever you want to call it. You get two reds where it's just a normal situation, which means stop, and you can either have a red and a white on an angle, or two whites, which mean go with caution. And that's a little kit that you've got to put together there. Not much putting together. It's just literally, there's a set of contacts on there, and you just literally have to wire it up, depending on whether you're using DC or a DCC decoder, and how you want the lights to actually appear. You can do various bits with 3 lights. And yes, it comes as a little kit, Train Tech. I think it's something around about £15. I couldn't find anything cheaper. I could have actually made it myself with LEDs and discrete components, 3D printed, but it seemed a bit of a faff when I could get this, get it together, get it wired up, and get it in, which I haven't done yet. Lazy bugger. But yes. So I will be getting around to that, and there's a little time over Christmas, so I might just bang all 4 of them out, and then I'll show them to you in the new year. An Elgato Stream Deck, yes. What I've got in mind is not that one. I think it might be a copy of it, but it's still fairly expensive. You're talking something like £300 odd, or $350 for this thing, and you've got to be fairly serious about it to take that kind of a step, because that's the kind of money you'd spend on a really good engine or locomotive. So what I'll do now is I'll just pop Percy off for a minute, see how far he gets. I have lights. Everything that attaches to the main line, there's a light on it. So let's just see where Percy ends up. Okay, he stopped. Right. So I'll just continue him on a bit. Right, Percy's been sidelined. And now, a Bud RDC. In a polystyrene. This thing weighs a ton. I mean, it really is quite heavy. So that's the way I usually do it. Make sure you've got a good sturdy hand underneath it. There we go. I'm not worried about the box or the other bits. Just concentrate on keeping this nice and flat. This thing weighs a ton. I mean, and it's really quite cold because, as I say, the shed's been quite cool. Now this thing does run on DC. Let me just adjust the controller. But it does have a DCC chip in it, so I can run it on either. And obviously the CVs have been aligned so it can do either. There's rudimentary lighting in it. So let's get her moving. And she's off. And it's not on the rails properly. Stop. Let's try that. Negative. Yeah, the actual bogie frames overhang the wheels, so it's difficult to see the wheels when you're actually putting the thing up. We have success. And off she flies. New York Central. There's one for Heath and our American cousins. It does make a little bit of a whine, but nothing too... do you have a shed door with a handle that you can open and close to stop opening when it wants? Yes, I have a little wire attachment and a screw, and I just wrap this piece of copper around the screw to stop it flapping open. Nice simple device. Is that an NYC RDC? Correct, it is indeed. Yes, I do run American stock on my layout. It runs quite happily along with the 00. For all intents and purposes, that looks like a 00 coach. It's probably a lot bigger in real life than our coaches, but because of the slight difference between the scales, we seem to have parity. So I can run a 00 train with a HO train, and they look effectively around about the same size. So you've been looking for a Carto set of those in N scale. Oh, okay, I didn't know they did one. This is obviously the Proto 1000 series. I got it cheap. It says, no runner needs new chip. And yes, it did need a new chip, and it needed some exploration of the adjustments they've made on the circuit board, which runs the length of the RDC. The idea was it wasn't made for DCC, but they did provide you with a circuit board, which you can cut in various points, which allows you to separate the circuit board out. And yes, it hadn't been done very well, which is probably why the chip blew in the first place. So I just dropped it back to basics, stripped it down, looked at the mechanics of it first, obviously hair around the axles, dirt on the wheels, lubrication, all of that kind of thing. And then I went to look into the electronics once all of the mechanics were favorable. And then it was just get a new DCC chip, function only. So I replaced it one for one. And yes, it's been very good. It was just take it back to basics. What do you want working? Okay, a light in either direction and motor controls. That was it. So not rocket science. Well, I wish you success trying to find an RDC. I believe authors still make these. So they're still out there. And I know Rapido make them as well, but they're awfully expensive. And trying to get anything American or Canadian in the UK is problematic, particularly the cost of it. We do have a few avenues. And when those avenues do open, there's lots of guys who jump on it. So you have to be quick. Crazy expensive, yeah, it is. It's arguably that you get what you pay for, because there's some awful trash out there as well. I mean, really. I'm not going to soil the spirit of the year. of this festive part of the year going on about manufacturers and their foibles. So we'll just leave that one in abundance. We'll just let it rest. But yes, there's some trash out there, and there's some really good stuff. Some of it you do have to pay the money. It would be nice if somebody like BLI would dump their own DCC chips and put something like Lock Sound or Soundtracks in there, or TCS. Just move it out of the way, because I find the BLI stuff to be, their sounds are second rate, very loopy. So what they'll do is they'll sample a very short steam whistle and then loop it. So it's going, and you can hear the join. So they need to get away from that stuff. They have to record it with professional equipment, the real thing, and the whole of the WAV. Delft Junction, hello Pete, nice to see you. Running a little Thomas excursion today, just to add a little festive cheer. It's not serious. Christmas is a time for relaxing and making whoopee. So, and I've got a little Bud RDC working, New York Central, which is right up our cousin Heath's street, as they say. For those of you that watch Heath, you'll appreciate that he's got quite a wiring job on his hands, which he's doing very well at. Nice, neat cabling, excellent work. The back scene looks a treat, and I think when Heath sees the end result, if he's not exasperated by the end of it, I think he'll appreciate the good works that he's done. So I'll be watching along. Although Heath is moving to a Wednesday for his live chat, and that's going to be something like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. That'll be my breakfast viewing the next day. Doesn't mean I won't watch it, because I will. And it's good stuff. We've got Anthony Dodge. Hello, Merry Christmas. A short visit, but wanted to greet everyone. That's very nice of you, Anthony. Thank you very much, pal. My love goes out to you and to Joyce and the rest of the family. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a better 2024. Yes, in 2024, making a change. Yes. For those of us that watch our American cousins, it's sometimes difficult to stay awake for 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning type of thing. It's often worth it because the content is usually brilliant, and it's nice to touch base with our American cousins and Canadian cousins. So it's just a brief foray into Christmas running, just a little bit of fun, funny hats, silly jumpers. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. So yeah, it's a bit of fun. If we had a little more fun in the world, we'd probably chug along a lot easier. In 2024, I'm aiming to go live Wednesdays and bring back my Wednesday workshop lives and up to 3 videos a week. Well, crumbs, Dan, that's a lot. But if you can stick with it, all power to your elbow. Likewise, peace and love. Joel, whether you celebrate Christmas, Chanukah, Kwanzaa, Solstice, Happy Hanukkah, or nothing at all. Cheers. Yes. Happy Christmas, everybody. Lukewarm coffee. there's an advantage of drinking cold coffee. You can't taste cold coffee. And that is actually true. That's one of Richard Burton's, I think he probably did it as an ad lib, and it worked. And yeah, the flavour of coffee goes down with the temperature. But it's good old gold blend. Oh yeah, I'm so funny. Oh dear. Does DCC have switches on it? Usually not. It's usually the locomotive itself has a series of switches known as dip switches, because they're very, very small, which enables you to adjust the lighting effects and functions of your locomotive while it's running in DC. Once DCC takes over, it doesn't matter what those switches are set to. The DCC does its own thing via, Heath would recognise this, via the various functions. So NCE power cab, yes. With my layout, I can run DC on its own or DCC, but never the twain. So I do have a switch here. It's a quad pole double throw switch with the center off. So there is no flashover between the two poles. So you've got a center off, DCC, center off, DC. So there's a clean break inside the switch. So there is no flashover. That was just my way of doing it. It sounded electrically sound, but the quadruple pole gives me the two running lines, and they obviously work at the same polarity once it's DCC. So it's all on one bus. That was the way I did it. Flick it back to DC. I've then got two separate lines. Back to work. Thanks, Anthony, for coming. Use a secondary switch for track power. Then I switch from DC to DCC. Yeah. I've got, obviously, the two disparate electromotive forces going into one switch, and then that figures out whether it should be DCC, completely off, or DC. See, if I want to kill that, I can put that switch to the middle position, and the whole lot is isolated. I can even then run the switch on a 9-volt battery. Just pop that on the rails, and I can run it around because it's completely isolated. Yeah. Let me just keep an eyeball on the time. 16:32. How long have I been running? I've been running 58 minutes. How about that? We've got 22 in the chat. That's something else I've noticed about YouTube, that the amount of likes in the chat doesn't seem to want to roll over. I'll be sitting there and it still says one person liked it. But then if I refresh the screen using F5 and the function key, all of a sudden 24 likes, and you think, why isn't that moving? And there's obviously a glitch in YouTube software there somewhere. But my like says 16, which is healthy. 58 minutes and still facing the camera. And not lowered us to track level yet. I can do that. Right, here we go. Track level, Thomas. Let's give you a bit of the scenics. So in theory now, you should see the RDC come around first. As you can see, there is 4-aspect lighting. You have the green aspect at the moment. I did take a few of I did take the resistors out, so it's giving as much power as it dare. Here comes our Bud RDC. I think that sounds rather good. And here comes Thomas. As you can see, we will then go through a red phase, and then on the timer it goes through yellow, double yellow, back to green, which is the way our signalling system in the UK works. Let me just pop you around in the other direction. Sorry about the vomit cam. Okie dokie. Here comes the Bud RDC. Well, hey! And here comes Thomas with his smiley face. And as you can see, there is a timer connected to that light. I've set it slightly longer. Yellow, double yellow, back to green. There you go. And that's the way that works. Excuse me. Yeah, just done an F3. It's gone from 3 to 20. YouTube problem. Yeah, that was what I figured, Andy. It's and happy Christmas to you, by the way. It's a strange problem, that one. It's I noticed that YouTube were doing funny things because they've obviously changed the format, and things have changed here, there, and everywhere. So Heath could probably explain more of what they've done with the frames and things, but yeah. You brew tea, you cook dinner. Yeah, that's the way of things. Anyway, so that's where we are on this approach to Christmas. I think that's really good. I love that little RDC. It just chuckles around. Yeah, really nice. Right, let's do a grab. There we are. We're back at the mill. Okay, chaps, I'm going to call it there. And believe it or not, we're cooking hot dogs, as you jolly well should be. Cannibals. Right. Yes, I'd love to wish all of you a happy Christmas and a very Merry New Year. Merry New Year from the Haile Selassie Pavilion. Yeah, that's another strange film, but there you go. Buffalo and Pittsburgh, hello there. I was just about to do a runner, actually. But as you can see, I've got a Bud RDC, New York Central livery running around there, and the ubiquitous Thomas, Annie, Clarabelle, and a few trucks. So tinned hot dogs are boiled. So is it really cooking? Well, yes, it is. You've still got to cook them through. And there's Mark from Stanover, just quickly popping in to wish you a happy Christmas and all the best for the new year. Currently at work at the moment, she'll finish at 6, all being well. Okay, Mark, thanks for popping in. Always great to see you. Another stalwart of the channel. Great man. Lacking in confidence, but but then aren't we all? It's just the way of things. You put yourself in front of a camera. Sometimes you can be right with it and right on there, so you can feed off the chat, and other times you're looking at the chat and nothing's happening. You know, the brain's gone sideways. But happy Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Yes, I got that idea from John JMC, who got this very jumper, and he said he got it from Amazon for £30 or something like that. And I think I must have overdone it with the Merry Christmas, you filthy animal, because I got one. It was got for me, of course. So thanks everybody for coming. Enjoy your Christmas, eat lots, drink lots, relax lots, and come back refreshed in the new year. God bless. Whichever religion you are, just have a peaceful new year, and I'll catch up with you soon. and enjoy yourselves, and don't overdo it, huh? Let's be careful out there. And what does Anthony say? Auf Wiedersehen, cheers, and happy trains, guys. Take care. Bye.